to the War on Terror by Patrick Tyler, History and Information, the president, and their advisors. And he focuses on the key players in that period of time and what is it called of the Israeli side. Not as critical of the Arab side, actually, in fact, as he is of the other two sides. He's a little advisors who really did not understand, for the most part, the history or the name in the pool of Benda, Prince Benda in Egypt. There's another very Nixon's trying to fall asleep, or I think he might have even been asleep, and wakes him up a few months afterwards, because the meeting was actually in June. The meeting was in June. Obviously, the war breaks out in October. And he considers Benda tells him about, and you can tell even in the time. So it is, it says here, the Economist describes it, reads almost like a thriller, and I think that's the positive part about the book, is that it goes not on Syria, very, very brief. When I wanted to do it, when I was approached to do a book report.
It's a new experiment.
I would have...
Actually, thank you very much, Ahmed, for giving this book, because I have this book, I didn't read it yet. And,
so it's difficult to summarize a book that is pretty much an encyclopedia-ish, let's say, or for lack of a better word, I believe it is a very important book for us, all of us at this table who are interested. This is our field, right? This is our field.
It should be only in English, but I don't know. It seems to me, as Ahmad has described, seems to me it wants, because he wants to entertain the reader, not on the very serious side, mostly on the. I don't know if there were any.
One of a handful of foreign journalists that the Iranians put on a helicopter and flew into Iraqi territory. The Iranians got foreign journalists, they got American journalists, they got foreign journalists in a helicopter. The chemical weapons that were used by Saddam, that they actually did. You're right, I like to usually just start with a very brief summary and then my criticism of the book. So I tried to summarize as much as I could.
Yeah. You backed up. You said, like, this is the thesis. So can you just...
If it's really to the level of to call it a thesis.
He actually says this expression, or you devised it? Consistently inconsistent.
It would just reflect on the. So instead of having never really in the Middle East, it was always driven on. President Assad beefed up is when you eat less meat. When you eat less meat, you're supposed to be less aggressive or something. And Schultz looks at the Damascus teacher and replied, things appear fine in Damascus.
What we expect in this book? But he gave us the gist of the book and also
the figures, because really when you think about it, it's difficult. Okay, it's difficult. And when the 67 war broke out,
he called it.
She was there. She was there. He was with them.
What do you think? Since you have read the
well, I think it's an interesting book to read, to have
chronology.
What he used as a euphemism, domestic, follow the cues from the powerful Israeli lobby here and the increasing
too fond of. He wasn't like Carter. The presence of Israel had nothing to do with that. Ambassador saying of his conclusions were.
I'm not saying this is what he believes in, but he wouldn't say it.
He cannot.
But in general, the very.
The presentation, any other talk? It's excellent.
Test really. This is the first time I do one without this published story. You find the conclusions. The American Street. What this guy is trying to do, this version and hope and all of that came with it. I think what he's trying to say, if you really need to, I've seen it.
I think he did a good job. Yeah. I disagree with Inas on one thing. She's from this presentation. If I were in his place, what else would I say about this book? I would exactly critical review of history or what could have happened or why did things happen this way on a major scale.
This is why they make a presentation for a book. I have very high expectations of it. and you would, for example, that time.
And I think it's an interesting thing because we have different approaches. Some people do a book circle, so you don't, because I wasted my time because it was so flawed, it was so biased, it was crap. It was, you need to throw it out in the trash. Or I can be like
closer to that. What are you talking about?
No, but I think, according to him at least, the Americans were upset because they were not properly informed of the attack, and they even sent the Israelis message. They sent the Euro through. We can do this, where he provoked.
You know the Reagan administration, during the Reagan.
What are you talking about, Khalid? The United States never ever in its history used anything against Israel. Neither sticks, nor carrots, nor pieces of cake. This is
like they want to push them to the extreme. So
give
that
you the answers you want to look for in a book that covers 10,000 small things. Why didn't you discuss with me what happened during this and this? Or why did you present to us the book to you about philosophy next week or the week after? And whether we agree or disagree with the authors.
How their process was done, and then now the
Most of the titles are usually
Let's keep it